Community Podcast.
Welcome to The Community, a podcast where we highlight the people, places, and events that make Louisa County special. We have a special guest with us today, and that's Mr. Bo Bundrick. Mr. Bundrick, if you will, tell us a little bit about yourself. And this, of course, we got to talk about the new building coming up. So if you tell us a little bit about yourself personally, and then talk a little bit about the new CTE facility.
Sure. I've had about 28 years in education, and fortunately starting my 9th year here in Louisa County, hard to believe, as the Director of CTE and Workforce Development. So blessed to be in this role simply because of the interaction that I have with community, employer sponsors, and of course our staff and students working on work-based learning options and apprenticeships and internships for students.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about this new project. I know they broke ground, a couple months ago?
Yep, broke ground a few months ago, and it's fast and furious, right? They're on the excavation phase now. We've got a parking lot in already, and that's fully done. That will assist with some parking at the main campus, obviously at the high school, and then they're looking to put in some footers here within the next couple weeks.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
So I know a lot of work went into, I guess, deciding the architectural design and also what programs will be taught. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had a committee of folks over the last year, staff, industry partners, administrators, some students had some input. So we had a committee to really talk about what was needed in that building. We're going to offer 13 programs, a lot of trade and industry. So anything from culinary to welding, right? We'll have 13 programs in there. Our teacher training academy will be there. HVAC, plumbing, electrical, marine technology, CAD drawing, CNC, fire and EMT. So the list goes on, and those are going to be flexible industry programs that we know that will support the workforce down the road.
Wow. So we're fortunate. We have the opportunity to work with you and staffing some of our child care programs. How will the new programs work with the community? Are there opportunities out there? Have you been approached by businesses already to help determine what classes to offer?
Yeah, our workforce data has really proved across the region that we're set up for these programs are in the right spot right now. For all your trade and industry, your construction, your HVAC, your welding, everybody needs employees, right? We do know that the industry, from what I hear from industry partners, that they're aging out. So as people retire and transition, they need the younger talent to move in. And you mentioned the education and training program that we work with you with Parks and Recreation. It's a great program. I mean, we have teachers in early childhood, students in early childhood education, teachers for tomorrow that go on to work in childcare, positions like what you offer us, as well as becoming a full-time teacher.
So when I think back to when I was in high school, and I was fortunate to go to Louisa High School a very long time ago. I won't talk about the times and dates and things like that. But, we were limited in terms of options, especially, it was kind of like tracks. You were either going to college, or the options after that were fairly limited. Can you tell me how this is going to change things for the students, not only there now, but the ones coming up?
Yeah, I think it's a game changer. And I too was limited when I was in high school, and what we offer now is far exceeds what you and I were accustomed to as a student. And I just think that the future is bright because students in these programs, we're recognizing probably 15 of the 17 career clusters right now that the state of Virginia recognizes, and also nationally. And these students are going to be prepared with high-demand credentials and moving into high-demand wage and high-demand jobs that will really set them up for success as a young adult.
That's great. So how do you get students, I guess, not only to make them aware of some of these opportunities and trades, but to get them excited about it as well?
Well, we're fortunate that we have what you call a completer sequence in just about every program. So a student would start out taking an intro level class to see if he or she is interested. Okay. Then you have a level 1 or level 2 after that really focuses on the competencies and the skills that are needed for either a credential or employment. So that's how you get them excited. And we do allow our students to explore courses. They go into a course thinking they might like it and then take it and not. So they have another option, in their class schedule as well.
how does this impact their current schedule or what's been going on in the past? Will they just be able to include that as an option for another class, or will they have to rearrange the schedule? How does that work moving forward?
Yeah, the scheduling component's a little bit different when you have more of a technical focus. Like, for instance, let's say electrical 1 and 2. If I'm a student and I choose that, that is a pathway that I'm really passionate about, and that's what we want, right? We want the passion to be there before they enroll.
Right.
Once they learn electrical 1 and 2, then they're going to sit for that credential, and they're going to be able to be offered a full-time apprenticeship or internship right during and after that experience. So the scheduling is a little different than what we call your normal high school schedule, but because some of those classes will be at a rate of 144 hours a year, or it could be 280 hours a year. So it just depends on the course schedule. But yeah, we'll be able to tweak that with their counseling department.
Oh, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Have you gotten feedback from any of the students or parents already about their excitement on the upcoming facility?
A lot of great feedback. Obviously, we've had industry partners engaged in this process for a year now, so that traction and that awareness has really taken off in the industry level. But our parents are excited. I mean, our students are like, "Hey, what's that new building going up?" We see a lot. So, but we've been talking about it, obviously, in our social media. Obviously, we had the kickoff event where we had the ribbon. I mean, the groundbreaking. So, a lot of good traction around this facility.
Wow, that's amazing. You talked a lot about the partnerships. What does that say about Louisa too? As you work to expand the program, add a new facility, and already have some partnerships established. What does that say about Louisa as a whole?
I think that's our community culture, right? Everything we do, working, whether it's your department or, working with county government, local government, state government, we believe in partnerships. We believe in being able to have those sit-downs, those collaborative efforts, shake hands, have the meetings that need to take place prior to something like this, right? This is a huge undertaking. So, and we've been so fortunate to have been doing that all along.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the design of the facility.
Yep. So single-story building, 56,000 square feet. It's going to be a long hallway where you're going to have your service and industry professions on both sides. The front of the building will be our teacher training academy, which also hosts our Little Lions daycare facility, which is just a great program within itself. And then we will have an administrative suite where our offices and mailroom, et cetera, those will happen. But the biggest thing that we'll have in addition to right across the hall from culinary is our conference center. So this will be a place where community partners, community engagement will happen in that building, in that conference center, to be able to have meetings and be able to showcase everything we do there.
I like that you use the community, because I think when we think about the schools and what they've been able to accomplish, they worked well with the community, and they put the community first. And actually, we talk about the slogan, Louisa Leads. I think this is a perfect example of how Louisa is leading, wouldn't you say?
I think so, because during the day hours, obviously, that building is going to be focused on student learning, right? And then in the evening, we are anticipating an adult ed program coming in and being able to have our community members use that facility to upskill and retool some of their skills that they're already, in their craft. So community college partners, talk about another community engagement. Community colleges are already coming to us saying, hey, we may be able to offer some classes in that new building. And I say, absolutely.
Wow, that's amazing. That's the first time I've heard about that. So how would the community, the individuals that are outside of the school, hear about some of these opportunities?
So we will advertise once the building is open and established, and we have enough equipment and manpower and bandwidth to offer that. We will have community outreach, offering certain classes in certain industries. For instance, maybe like a welding 101 or a small engine or marine technology or cosmetology. We already have had some interest in the nursing, the adult ed nursing program at night. So I mean, really and truthfully, we will be announcing it almost in a course catalog, if you will. Potentially something we could work with you and partner with you on your office.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. That's exciting to hear, because we think a lot about the development and what's going to be done based on the impact that it will have on the youth. And now I'm hearing also the impact that it will have on adults and in the community as well. And I think that's it's a plus for the community. It's a plus for individuals who maybe attended high school, got out of high school, and maybe they're not sure what path they want to take moving forward, they'll have another opportunity to kind of, maybe sit down and talk to people and even take classes that will help them, move to another path or learn a trade or get them to where they want to be successful. So that's pretty neat that you're reaching out outside of the classroom setting in the youth to reach some of the adults here too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was part of the design of the whole process, right? I mean, that's something we knew was going to be involved in that building, is having the adult ed component to it. And I think it makes for a great match, because you don't want to drive 45 minutes east or west to go to a community college if you can do it right here in your hometown.
Right. So I hear a lot of people say, hey, there's nothing to do in Louisa. They have to go to Richmond to find a job or Charlottesville to find a job. How will that change that mindset?
Yeah, I think changing that mindset, this will definitely help that. We've been so fortunate to have 120 plus employer sponsors already say that they will hire our students, right?
Wow.
But this building will just enhance that, because employers will now come into this building knowing that if they're in a particular trade and they want to pick some of our talent right out of that program, they'll just be able to walk down a hall and get to see all that under one roof. It will really enhance the hiring process for young adults.
That's amazing. So completion date, what are we looking at? I know a lot of things factor into completion of a facility like this. Sure. Do we have an estimate or a date?
Yeah, I think best case scenario is it would be done, early 2027, okay. Winter, spring, because you want to have time for those instructors to move their equipment in, to build their curriculum, get everything tight before students occupy the building. Our goal is to occupy that building in August of 27.
Oh, that's amazing. So will the construction process impact anything now that goes on at the school?
No, I tell you, we've been very fortunate working with Nielsen, our general contractor, on this project. They've set up all the parameters and the planning schedule around school, so they know how to. They've done this before, so they know how to work on a campus site where there's an active school in session. Mm-hmm. But if they keep going at the pace they're going, they're going to be ahead of schedule for sure.
Great. All right, so let's move forward. It's 2030. What do you expect? What would things look like?
Yeah, 5 years from now, obviously, building will be open and have been in existence and have the first cycle really of those completers that would come through that building. Generally, it takes students a year to 2 years to complete a program before he or she graduates, and you will see the fruits of our labor, if you will, as those young adults move out into our community and are getting local jobs right here. Obviously with the development that we have in this county currently, right. We're hearing that the trends are there, that the work's going to be here for many years to come.
So it's definitely an investment in the community then, is what
Absolutely.
I hear you saying. That's awesome. All right, so what message do you have to students, parents, maybe community members that are excited about this project? Or maybe you have some that might be a little unsure about it. What message would you share with them?
I would say, obviously, stay tuned to all of our networks, right? We do a lot of good things on communicating on social media, working through, the parent messenger system. We'll be able to send out updates on this project. If anyone's unsure or unclear, have them stop by and see me there at the school division. I'd love to show them the plans and really get to talk about the vision of this program and the philosophy of why we're doing this, because it is for the betterment of our young adults and also our community.
Great. And I know you mentioned you have programs now. If you just want to highlight some of those programs for maybe our local people now so they know what's going on, because I know, what we're talking about is great, but we do have 3 or 4 years before we're able to actually, for the community to experience this program. Talk about, just highlight some of the programs again, some of the classes that you offer now, the impact that's having on Louisa County and the youth as well. Yeah,
programs that we're offering now are obviously turf management, construction tech, cosmetology, barbering, fire and EMT, nursing, cybersecurity. We have a lot of programs currently. The ones that we're adding will just be, like I said, almost a capstone to everything and really kind of seal the deal, if you will, for all of our programming. So we'll add marine technology, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, And then we're enhancing the welding and fire and EMT program, so they'll move over. So just like I said, the new programs coming on board that are really focused on the trade and industry labor part of the industry and of those occupations. It's just going to be a tenfold experience to kind of just encompass all that.
Wow. And what year is this for you?
This is starting my 9th year in Louisa County.
So 8 years ago, did you envision this? Is this something that you thought would be a possibility?
It's been in discussion that long for sure. We've been talking about what's next down the road, and we're very fortunate that we have the support of our school board and our board of supervisors to really stay focused on this project. And we were going to go with something smaller as somewhat of a quick fix or a Band-Aid, but we had enough good forecasting and vision to say, well, let's wait and do something of this caliber. So it definitely has paid off. All that thinking and planning and discussion and praying and hoping for something for this to come. I'm glad to see it is here today.
Well, as a community partner and having worked with you and your staff down there, I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the opportunity that it's going to have on Louisa County and the youth in Louisa County as well. So thank you very much for the work that you're doing and the work of the superintendent and the fact that you are, really representing the model that Louisa leads. Thank you all for joining us today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, or share. See you next time. Thanks.